Well, there once was a girl running in our group. She had a high-speed motor in a 40 Ford coupe. She had a racing cam and a supercharged. Look at Buddy, hot rod and large. She's a hot rod. She's a hot rod.
Hey, Lo, you're on with the car guy.
Oh, George, Vinny.
Hey, Vinny, what's going on?
How are you?
You know what? If I was any better, I'd be twins, buddy. You can split me like an atom.
Right. George, I got a question. You're talking about recalls, okay, on these 2019s, 2020s. Why so many recalls? I mean, these are brand new vehicles that are on the road. Why so many recalls at this time?
Well, Vinny, I'm sorry to say there's a couple of reasons it could be. I don't want to put anything in anybody's head, but we are in the middle of a strike. Contract negotiation times right now, okay? And so we'll see what happens there. But a lot of these welds, they're all robots. I mean, the welds can't, the robots can't be uprising, can they, Vinny? I would hope
so
not.
Can't they just go, right, instead of having robots, can't they just go ahead like the old-fashioned way, having manpower just to go ahead and, hey, let's get these cars running and, without having these recalls and there's so many, it's so many defects with these vehicles. Why the robots? I understand technology, George, but back in the day it was always, having the men or women, putting the car together. Can they ever go back and do anything like that again?
Well, you know what? They probably should. And these recalls, I'm telling you, robots save money. That's how they do it. They don't have to buy insurance for robots. They don't have to give them health and welfare. They don't have to give them anything. They don't have to pay them. All they got to do is plug them in. But if they're not going to get the job done right, you're going to need just a good old-fashioned American worker to get the job done right. And that's the way I feel about it. I believe in robots, especially for welding, but doggone it. All these recalls, I bet you 50% of the recalls I report on have weld problems or deal with it. I don't know, Vinny. I don't know what to tell you.
All right, well, George, thank you for taking my call. You have a great day.
You're the man, buddy. Talk to you later. Say hi to Sandy for me.
Bye.
All right, Vinny there. He's been a long-time listener. I have talked to him since, 10 years on the radio. Vinny's a good man. A South Korean cargo vessel carrying 4,000 vehicles bound for the Middle East market capsized off the coast of Georgia, United States, near St. Simon's Sound. No report about what vehicles were on board, but I'll speculate and say Hyundais and Kias made in their Georgia plants, because that's where they're at, down there in Georgia, where they don't have any union. And it's official. General Motors now has fewer UAW employees than FCA Chrysler and Ford Motor Company in the United States. Why? Simply because GM has downsized its production in the U.S., closing up some plants and shoveling plants to China and Mexico. In the 1950s, General Motors was the largest private sector employer in the country. Now, well, they like going out of country. They're a little slap in the kisser to the United States of America. And I got to tell you what, I'm not a fan of it. And you know what? If Ford and Chrysler overtake them and sell more cars and become 1 and 2, let GM drop to 3. They can drop to 4 or 5 for all I care. I don't approve of moving vehicles out of the country. There's too many companies investing money here. All the foreign investors are coming here. We'll talk about that one of these days real soon too. You know, I got to tell you, I've been working up to this, and it's really important to me. Twice now, I have been asked, how does a recall happen? Once was at breakfast with the car guys on Sunday at the Blue Top. Oh, amazing breakfast. Biscuits and gravy to die for. That's only on Sunday, though, at the Blue Top. Good stuff. And most recently at the Make-A-Wish Car Show by Mark Hallier, the publisher of Region Rides magazine that I write for, and he's a sponsor, and I'm a sponsor. We just have a great communication going on. So I've decided to do my homework, and here's what I dug up. And Mark Hallier's been around the car world all his adult life. I mean, or longer, maybe his child life too. I don't know. And his son Charlie, he's a car guy too. They're making a Pinewood Derby car right now. He was telling me all about it Sunday at the car show, which, by the way, the Make-A-Wish car show was fantastic. And I'm told they made a whole bunch of money for that young man. I got to interview him. It was a little bit of a heartbreaker, but hey, you know what? God bless him, and he's strong. Boy, he's a tough kid. All right, here's what I found about the recalls. There's 4 phases here. Now listen to this. This is cool stuff. The ideal recall for a car maker is that they find a defect in either design or production and initiate a recall on their own. And at their own pace. See, if they do it on their own, they can do it at their own pace and not, it slows down the parts replacement and it spreads the cost over more time. But never endears the consumer who's waiting for safe car or truck again. I mean, it's just not right. But that's the ideal thing for a car maker. After reporting the said defect to the NHTSA, they are allowed to proceed on their own. Just think now of ignition gate or the Takata airbag debacle or the Jeep Cherokees catching fire. The ugly way is a 4-step process that takes a little more time, even though the NHTSA, which, by the way, has set every vehicle standard since 1970, the safety standard, since 1970, has vast resources at its disposal and a huge staff, all government. It's money. It's government money. Let's face it. In the first step, the NHTSA receives tens of thousands of complaints from concerned drivers on their recorded hotline each year and posts them on their public database at safecar.com. You go to safecar.com and you'll see the NHTSA has a list of all the people that are complaining about the same thing you're talking about. Other concerned drivers can see these alleged defects and stoke the fire, as it were. The agency also takes petitions from consumer groups and individuals sent in and asking for a formal investigation. They'll listen to you. The NHTSA is there to listen. They will. Now, the second step, though, is key. The preliminary evaluation, the second step is called preliminary evaluation and can actually be set off by a single consumer complaint. You send it in, you call them in, they will evaluate. They're not going to let it slide, depending on the severity, of course. This is when the board requires the car maker to submit any and all documents involving the alleged defect. This is the step where manufacturers start to drag their feet. But once the feds get their grips on you, well, it's another story. So when they decide, hey, somebody said this is a problem like the Trax control arms that break. Well, then, okay, General Motors tell us all about this. And now it hits the fan, okay? Now is the time when it's going to get bad. The third step is when things get serious. Now the NHTSA has decided that there is a possibility of the defect, and engineering analysis comes into the picture. Now they get the big boys out, the big guns, as it were. First, the agency probes the vehicle builder for more information, like engineering studies and quality checks. Then comes the official engineering analysis by government technicians. These are people that take the car apart. They rip the car apart. But when the company goes to great lengths to fix the problem, which is when the company goes to great lengths to fix the problem before the agency makes its decision and tries to save face. There's one more phase we're going to talk about when we come back from the break, but I just got to tell you, this is the way it happens. It's for sure. You can start a recall, or you can go on the database, safecar.com, and look and see if anybody else has had a complaint just like the one you've got. You might find thousands of them. Then what? Okay? Then what do you think? Now it's time for the NHTSA to get involved, and they will. They really, really will. But somebody's got to petition them. Somebody's got to call them. Somebody's got to get on them. Somebody's got to light the fire. You got to get some matches and light the fire. Hey, you're on with the car guy.
Hey, Big George. This is Dan from Michigan City.
Hi, Dan.
How are you? Thanks for taking my call.
No problem, buddy. What's up?
Well, I was calling to let you know that I have a Factory 5 Shelby Cobra that I've been building. It's about 80% done, and I have downsized. We've downsized, and I need to sell it. So I got it up for sale in the past week or so, and it's great. It's got the engine in it, the trans, got all the parts. And it's for sale in Michigan City.
You know what? I have a buddy that built one of those, and I know a couple people at the car shows that are into those. That is a super little kit car. That is just, they have more fun with those cars. This guy squirts all over town in his. He just has a ball. What engine have you got?
I have a 347 in there. It's actually, the bored and stroked.
Yeah.
And it's everything's new. I mean, I didn't use any donor parts. You know, some of the guys build them with parts they get from old Mustangs, and I used all new parts, including new engine, new transmission, and it's great. It really moves.
Now, is this a Chevy drivetrain or a Ford?
Ford drivetrain.
Okay.
I actually got the drivetrain. I got the drivetrain from Factory 5. So I made sure that I got the back end of the drivetrain from Factory 5, and it's been a great adventure. You know, I don't consider myself a car guy, but I built a car, which about 80% done. But there's still plenty to do, and someone's going to pick their colors. You see them around town; they're really pretty. I saw a green one yesterday.
Oh,
and,
you know what?
They're really
sharp. My buddy's is a bright blue one, and he's got a big block in his, a big block Ford, but he's the same way. It was a kit from whatever the name of that company is, 5 or whatever. That's the one he used. And
Factory 5.
Factory 5. And boy, I tell you what, those cars are cool and they're fun. I don't fit in them personally, but I couldn't get my big toe in that thing. But it's a cool little car. Now, what kind of, got a phone number or something? If somebody wants to talk to you, I'll write it down too, because I'm going to tell a few people about this.
Yeah, that'd be great. So anyone who's interested, please call me at 630-240-7585, and I went to 630-240-7585. I'm in Michigan City, and I have a sign on the car that says "Must sell, any offer considered." So I've got a lot of time and a lot of investment put into it, but I think the big reward has been the fun.
Oh yeah, but
I did it with my son.
Dan, this is a perfect time of year for something like that, because we're going into winter. Somebody's going to be looking for a winter project in the garage. Put it in the garage and tinker with it all winter long.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's absolutely perfect. Dan, I really appreciate you calling. I'm going to push it around for you. I will push it around for you, and I'll tell all the people I know, all you listeners out there, if you know somebody that likes these little cars, they are super. These little Cobras, they're cool looking. And you can buzz around town. They're cool in parades. They're good for everything. They're just a fun car to have.
You got it.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, George.
All right, buddy.
Take my call.
Oh, yeah.